I'm Lou Nelson, I'm head teacher at Downhill Primary School in Rayleigh, and for the past 5 terms we have been using StartBee as our handwriting scheme. Today we have actually used a match fit assessment with our early years children who actually started using StartBee back in September, and we've seen the most amazing results today. We're absolutely thrilled. Before we started using the StartBee handwriting programme, we didn't really have a strategy. We had a policy for the implementation of handwriting lessons across the course of the year, but nothing quite so structured as we have in place now with StartBee. So by using the match fit assessment, we're able to assess each child individually, not just for where they are in terms of handwriting, but also their pencil grip, whether they've got hypermobility, whether they're left-handed or right-handed, and then we can use all of that information holistically to actually provide a very bespoke programme for children as they move through the school. Obviously the match fit assessments generate quite a lot of hard data, and what I have done is I've used our current tracking system for assessment in school, and I've created some custom columns within that programme, which is very similar to an Excel spreadsheet, and actually put all the data into those custom columns, and then I'm able to use some filters on the programme to look at whether certain groups of children are making the appropriate amount of progress, whether other groups of children need to have an SEN provision provided for them, and we're able to track very, very closely year on year how those children are progressing because we now have that data on our system. Head teachers and SLTs are always obsessive about data, and we are no different to any other school in the country. How we have used our StartBee data is, for example, one teacher said a couple of weeks ago, very concerned about a child's progress in handwriting, didn't think they were making as much progress as the rest of the children. Mentioned it to the inclusion manager, who went onto the StartBee custom columns, found out that the child had hypermobility, and this had been assessed in one of the match fit assessments, was able to inform the teacher, who was then able to provide the child with the correct writing implement to try and support the handwriting. Following our match fit assessment today, we have been able to identify a very specific group of children who are going to need to work on a particular programme. So they will still be working alongside their peers in the classroom, following the next steps from their early years StartBee programme, but they will also be having additional interventions which will be happening a couple of times a week outside of the classroom, their own distinct group with their own distinct programme in order to address their specific needs. StartBee has enabled us to be much more focused on assessing handwriting and also assessing next steps of learning for those children. The national curriculum states that children need to be fluent in their handwriting style at the end of Key Stage 2, and actually this is able to help us track through from Key Stage 1 to Key Stage 2 to ensure that they continue to make progress to meet that goal. The data, as shown from the match fit assessment, shows that the children in our early years are performing extremely well, and some of them are exceeding what the expectation is at the end of early years foundation stage profile. We have seen a vast improvement in the confidence of some of our children to actually write, and a prime example of that is we had 2 young girls last week who sat and wrote very confidently, using common spelling patterns, using correct letter formation, and it was lovely to see that all the hard work that's been put into creating confidence in writing using the StartBee programme has actually then filtered into other elements of the curriculum.